This is a pretty disturbing story, so if you're eating something, please stop while watching this video. It's about a woman called Demetra Nix, who is probably a feminist who wants to raise awareness about women's rights in modern society, but she did it terribly wrong. Disgustingly wrong. So, what she did, she covered her face in period blood, just to show everyone how they are beautiful and powerful. And just like you thought, she didn't prove anything and changed nobody's minds. It is still disgusting and awful. This is according to the UK Mirror. Demetra Nix spent years hiding her periods from boyfriends and being extremely embarrassed every time she came on. But a change in her contraception meant she had to start keeping a closer eye on the cycle. She started to see things very differently. She grew to love her time of the month, saying it's beautiful and powerful, and wanted to share her new appreciation with women around the world. She started collecting her blood and one day had an impulse to smear it across her face and share photos online. She said, "We hold so much shame in our bodies, and most of us do not realize it until we intentionally explore it. Our periods are an incredibly magical time of the month that holds immense power, and our society keeps us away from that as much as possible." This is her quote. "I am endlessly fascinated by my body and its patterns. Many people talk about the parts of the cycle being like the seasons, with the energy of ovulation being like summer and the energy of menstruation being like winter. I think that's generally true, but I've also found it's very individual. Sharing pictures of blood on my face and body was just an impulse. I was creating a series to help women connect with their menstrual cycle, and I thought it would be fun. We can also do things like paint with it or pour it into the earth. I think it's a beautiful thing to get comfortable with touching your own blood. There is a tremendous amount of power in learning that we can experience pleasure from the parts of our bodies we deem in society as disgusting. If we can love the unlovable, all life opens up to us. We spend a lot of time learning to control our bodies. Instead, I believe in learning from our bodies. My blood to me has become fun, beautiful, and powerful, and playing with it brings me closer to myself." It's not surprising that she lives in a liberal utopia called Los Angeles, and she works as a sex coach. She also stated that our society teaches us that periods are dirty and inconvenient, and how ads about menstrual products talk about smelling fresh or making us cleaner, implying that our body's natural functions are gross. She also had a message for other women around the globe. "I think it begins by recognizing that our disgust towards our bodies is not innate, it is a learned social behavior. Our bodies want to protect us, and when we learn that having a certain view might get us rejected socially, we do everything we can to prevent that from happening. But since it's learned, we can unlearn it." It's even hard to say anything after a story like this. This is just yet another example of how third-wave feminism is affecting the modern world. From feminists not shaving their armpits to covering themselves in period blood. This just went too far, and instead of helping them, it ruins and destroys their lives. Now let's take a look at Ben Shapiro's take on this story.
Okay, so this one, if you're eating breakfast, now is not the time to do so, if you are a subscriber and you can see this. There is a woman who has now smeared herself with menstrual blood, saying that she wanted to show that periods are both beautiful and powerful. First of all, super transphobic. What about women who don't have periods? And what about men who do have periods? Has anyone thought of those people? Second of all, this look, it worked way better in Braveheart. Worked way better in Braveheart. Also, I don't think that those words mean what she thinks they mean. Beautiful and powerful. Now, I'm just going to put this out there. Bodily fluids, not the best, just no matter from which orifice. Bodily fluids, smearing them on yourself, not great. Not great, Bob. So not sure why exactly why somebody would do this, unless they're a crazy person. Well, this person is a crazy person. Her name is Demetra Nix, 26, although I don't want to assume her sex because obviously we can't do that anymore. She's a sex coach. So I get maybe that's what this is. Maybe this was maybe it is a Braveheart motivational tactic. She's a sex coach, so she smears herself with menstrual blood and then she's like, do it now, own it. So she's trying to end the stigma and shame around periods. All she is succeeding in doing is having people back away slowly into the bushes like Homer Simpson. She says that she regularly posts these photos to her Instagram page. She lives in LA, California, because my city is intensely stupid. She had her first period age 12, just like most young women, I know, shocking, but was ashamed of it and thought it was disgusting. She would try and hide her period from boyfriends, worried about bleeding through her clothes. Well, first of all, shouldn't we all be worried about bleeding through our clothes from wherever? That's not sanitary as a general rule. She said, I was simultaneously embarrassed and fascinated by my period. I felt apologetic about it a lot and tried to hide it from boyfriends. Our society teaches us that periods are dirty and inconvenient. Well, they're not clean and convenient from what I hear from women. I mean, I've never heard a woman who was like, you know what? My period came, it was so clean and so convenient for me. It was just great. Ads about menstrual products talk about smelling fresh or making us cleaner, implying that our body's natural functions are gross. If she doesn't think our body's natural functions are gross, she should smear poop on herself and walk around. Like really, when my son doesn't want his diaper changed, you know what I say to him? It's time to change your diaper because you have gross poo-poo. I know, deep thoughts here on a Thursday. But we have reduced adults to dumber than our smallest children. There are very few parents who've never had the experience of walking into a room and seeing your child with their diaper around their ankles looking at their own poop. And you thought, wow, that's a dumb thing because kids are dumb. When you're in your mid-20s and you're still doing this with the stuff coming out of your body, let me suggest that you may have a problem larger than the societal feelings about periods. Unbelievable. And again, supremely transphobic. Really, really transphobic and terrible. Very cisgender. Alrighty.